After 23 years, wearing 23 at pick 23, the Green Bay Packers have selected a wide receiver in the first round. Green and golden, baby. Posse Packer Nation, welcome to another episode of podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Holy crap, they actually did it, Grossi. And yes, the Green Bay Packers, with the 23rd overall pick, hosting the 2025 NFL Draft, have selected Matthew Golden. And this is pretty insane. And this is insane for a number of reasons. Not only the 23-year-old drought that is now broken, but the fact that they did this in Green Bay in front of thousands of Packers fans was absolutely incredible. I got goosebumps on the stream, and I wasn't even in front of Lambeau Field. And so now, with all of that being said, let's take a look at this pick, because we talked about Matthew Golden in a draft preview before. But why are Packers fans so excited about drafting Matthew Golden, and why did the Packers even go and draft a wide receiver when they had other draft needs? First of all, when you're talking about Matthew Golden, he's 5'11", which is the same size as Jaden Reed, and he's 191 pounds, so he is on the smaller end. And usually the Packers like to target larger wide receivers, but considering they broke their 23-year-old streak on Matthew Golden, there are plenty of things that the Packers love about his play. First of all, weeks ago, Goody came out and said that, hey, when the Packers draft somebody in the first round, it's not expected that they're going to contribute right away, right? They're going to be worked into it. We're going to see how they do with opportunities and take it from there. And for fans, that can sometimes be frustrating because we're so excited to get that draft pick on the field, but the Packers like to take it slow and steady as they develop their players. When it comes to Matthew Golden, there's a few things that really stand out about his play. One, and this is the thing that's going to be talked about the most with national media, is his speed. He ran a 4.28 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine this year, which was the second fastest speed of all positions, and it was first amongst wide receivers. He also ran a 1.49 10-yard split, which he tied for first, and honestly, this kind of speed was a little bit surprising considering his game speed. He really doesn't play with that amount of speed, but he is super duper smooth, and he obviously is very quick and can move. And the second thing that really stands out is how smooth his route running is. If you even just want to watch some highlights, you will see that constantly he is open and creating separation. He moves literally like butter, which I guess it makes sense why he's in the dairy state now. But watching him go one-on-one with CBs, he's either getting separation via his speed or his smooth route running. So the fact that the Packers drafted someone who can get so much separation, considering Christian Watson is injured and is not going to return until later this season, is a huge plus. And speaking of Christian Watson, I don't think this is the replacement for Christian Watson, but the Packers do need a wide receiver. I mentioned that it was a top 5 draft need for the Packers heading into this draft, and honestly, considering Romeo Doubs, he had 2 major concussions, you want to make sure that he's okay, but we don't know long-term what that's going to look like. But also Christian Watson missing a substantial amount of time, the Packers need to be able to field receivers, and yes, they have Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, but they also dealt with drops last year. And speaking of Matthew Golden, he doesn't drop the ball too much. There'll be some media that will report on that he does have some drops every now and then, but he only has 4 drops on 83 targets, which is pretty damn good. So the Packers not only got a really smooth route runner who can run really freaking fast, but they also got a guy who doesn't drop the ball often, which, as Packers fans, I'm very happy to hear that. In the SEC championship game against Georgia, he had 8 receptions for 162 yards, and so the moment is not too big for him as he has been clutch in numerous occasions. Last year, he had 987 yards on 58 receptions and 9 touchdowns. And one thing that really stands out, which is going to be seen as a negative, but I want to talk about this in terms of the Packers, he's not the best blocker, especially when it comes to run blocking. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because Matt LaFleur likes wide receivers who block. So the fact that they drafted a wide receiver at 23 after 23 years, and the guy is not even putting on tape his best blocking ability, I think it really speaks volumes of how high the Packers hold him. The Packers could have gone after an edge rusher or a corner. I don't think anyone would have batted an eye. Yes, Matthew Golden was a popular pick, probably because his name is so amazing, but he's a great football player. But the Packers had options here. So with the Packers going after Matthew Golden, who was a third wide receiver taken in this first round, the Packers must think he is really, really special. I mean, hell, he even told reporters that he was going to go across the street to Lambeau to get a workout in tonight. And so if that's not the kind of player that you want on your team, I don't know what we're doing. And so ultimately, this is incredibly exciting, not only for Packers fans who got to witness, potentially for their first time, depending on how long they've been a Packers fans, their first wide receiver drafted in the first round, but ultimately it fills a need that the Packers had heading into this season. We talked about Christian Watson. He's going to be out for a while. We talked about Romeo Doubs, but you're also talking about expiring contracts. The Packers have a very young wide receiver core, which just got even younger tonight with Matthew Golden being only 21 years old. And going forward, the Packers are going to have some stability and consistency in their future. And so this season is going to be really important for a number of wide receivers on the team. And now that wide receiver room will feature Matthew Golden. And like I said, the Packers still have needs at edge rusher and corner. Thankfully, there's some really good edge rushers and corners still on the board. And ultimately, it'll be interesting to see what the Packers do if they wind up moving up at the beginning of day 2, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a run on edge rushers. But ultimately, the Packers fulfilled one of their needs tonight. They broke a streak, and yeah, it's all green and golden, baby. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You know, find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy, all social media see down below. A big shout and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members for supporting this channel. And I appreciate you all. I am live here in downtown Green Bay. That's why this studio is different. So I appreciate the hell out of you. We had 25,000 people in there for the Packers selection during the draft stream. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this. And yeah, I could not be happier to be in Green Bay right now. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack, go.